This is my Suscipe Capstone presentation. My name is Cody, Haddad, class of 2025. And I want to start off as we do all things in prayer. So in the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, Amen.
Take the Lord and receive all my liberty, my memory, my understanding, my entire will, all that I have and possess. You have given all to me. To you, O Lord, I return it. All is yours, according to your will. Give me only your love and your grace. That is enough for me.
Amen. So starting off, I want to talk about where I'm from, and I'm from Big Village. I moved there when I was 6 years old, and I think the reason moving there is because my mom and my dad loved how the community is and how there's no commercial real estate. So it's a bike city, and I used to bike around all the time when I was younger. The youth sports there is also huge. Bay soccer, Bay men's baseball, lacrosse, basketball, football, everything you could play. And my dad was huge on getting me introduced to every sport I could to find my path. But then I ended up attending St. Rayfields, which is a private Catholic grade school. And that started off my faith journey. And I went to mass every single Sunday with my family. We prayed a lot, but going to a Catholic grade school was huge for my dad, and he cared about that a lot. And that ties into my family, where I have an older brother, John Carroll. He was a class of 23, Brady. That's his name. I have Trey, who's a class of 27. He's here right now. He plays basketball, football, runs track. I have a little sister who dances, who I think will go to Mags. But honestly, I still don't know. She doesn't really talk about it. But that's pretty much my family. I have two loving parents who set up a great structure for me, faith-wise and community-wise, being who I am. But what I expected coming into St. Ignatius was, honestly, I didn't really expect much more than just sports, because that's just where I was in my head. I didn't really think of my faith that much. I didn't think of the community that much. I just thought about being the starting point guard on varsity and the starting receiver on varsity. And point guard thing didn't really work out, and I guess receiver kind of did, but I'm an athlete now. But my experience here started off with freshman football. I got introduced to a lot of people my freshman year just because of playing football. And unfortunately, 1 quarter into my freshman season, after 2 catches and 2 touchdowns in the first quarter, I broke my collarbone, and that really just set me back. But honestly, I wasn't really dedicated to anything yet, so I kind of just let it go. I just, was just living in the moment. I was having fun playing football, or being around football still. My sophomore year came, really hadn't played any football yet, and I got switched to DB. I was put on varsity pretty soon, actually right away. And a lot of people were saying that was because of my name. I had to prove them wrong, and I think I did that. I picked up a couple offers my sophomore year, and then that's what propelled me into working hard on the off season. I ended up breaking my arm before my junior season, which is very unfortunate because I still had a lot to prove to everyone that doubted me, and I had to prove people right that believed in me. So I came back and I played 4 games, and I think it was the best football I've actually ever played in my life. I picked up 22 Division I offers before the start of my senior year. I ended up committing to Ohio State, and I played 2 games, and I broke my arm again. And both times I had got surgery, but I came back without a doctor's note. Played in Cincinnati. And that game for me, I played really well. I had some of my Ohio State coaches there, which meant a lot to me for them coming and supporting me. But then I ended up breaking my hand throughout that season too, but I kept playing through that because I couldn't give up yet, and I had high expectations for that season. But after all of that was pretty much my experience with football. But I also played basketball, as you can see in this picture. This is my freshman basketball team. It was an interesting group of guys. I didn't really know any of them. I knew a couple because of football. I knew a couple because of CYO sports. But other than that, I've never met these kids in my life, and I had no idea who they were. Deb Jackson was coach, and I had a great experience freshman year. JV basketball was the most fun I've ever had at any sport in my entire life. Sorry to say that for all the people who think I love football. I do love football, but JV basketball was amazing. It was a group of all of my friends, who are all my friends now, not before the season, but really close group of guys. And we all super competitive, but we all stick together. And I think I was the glue guy on that team, which also I loved being because I was a great leader. And Deb, as a coach, is a very loud and yelling coach, but that's just who he is, and everyone understands that. But you have to understand that just because he yells at you doesn't mean he's mad at you. And some kids didn't understand that. And I think that's where I stepped in as my role as a leader. And I'll take kids under my wing today. It's fine, keep doing you, you're fine, and that's where we propel. We are a great team. Up top is my friend group. You guys don't know this, but there are no St. Raphael's kids. There's no kids from Bay. There's no one that lives around me, honestly. And these are all just kids that I've grown close to coming to St. Ignatius, and I think that just explains a lot because I'll be friends with these guys forever. Another experience that I've had is doing a Christmas concert every single year, all 4 years here, which I love doing. I love getting dressed up, I love seeing people fancy. And this year I was blessed to watch it, and I was actually amazed by how much I enjoyed listening to the orchestra. I never thought that I would enjoy something like that. I ran track almost all 4 years here, and I didn't know how much faster I could actually get until Coach Wolf told me my mechanics were not where they should be. So, being open to growth and listening to him, and fixing my form completely actually helped me tremendously and got me so much faster. But my most meaningful experience at St. Ignatius was my sophomore service at Scranton. I had first graders. I walked in the first day. I didn't really know what to expect. It's not something that I was used to. I was blessed enough to live in Bay Village, which, I had everything almost at my fingertips, where here I could see these kids didn't really have much. And there was one kid named Danziel who really struggled with reading, and that's who I sat with every single day when I was there. And by the end of the time there, me and him finished an entire coloring book where you have to read something and then fill out a color. And I think hopefully that helped him out a lot because he got closer to me, got more comfortable with me. But the first time he would talk to me, the first time we met, by the end, he gave me a hug goodbye. And something else is, my nickname in that classroom was Pancake. I don't know why, but some girl called me Pancake when I walked in the second day. It stuck with me ever since. Every time I walked in, they were just Pancake, and that's kind of just what happened. And it was awesome because every time I walked in, they would yell that, and I felt loved and welcome there. Reflecting on all this, reflecting on my injuries, it made me a lot closer to God. I prayed a lot more. I prayed for my health. I prayed for I was grateful for being in the position I was because through all my injuries, I still had opportunities to be great, and I still have an opportunity, to go play at the next level, which is amazing to me. But my dad also told me that praying is the most important thing, and praying every day is amazing, and you have to do it because he doesn't take his faith lightly. And I've been, open to growth and listening to my dad and listening to all the staff members at Ignatius, and just prayer, reflecting, open to growth on changing the way I work out and how I have to, be a better athlete and a better man at Ignatius. And something that has always stuck with me is every time after every single surgery, after every injury that I went through this, my entire Ignatius career, my dad would tap me on the shoulder and tell me that God has a plan for me, which has always stuck with me. And it just means a lot to me because I know my dad loves me. And the actions I took, like I said, were praying more and working a lot harder because not everything is given, and my dad has really proved that too. Because he wasn't the biggest guy out there, but he made it pretty far, I would say. And he also told me on the spots that he would where he would pray in the chapel, and he always told me to go to the Marion Mall if I have any time, if I need to reflect on anything, which I ended up doing a good amount of times, a week before every single game this year. I'd say a couple prayers with or without my dad, and it just means a lot to me because that's how much Ignatius, it shows me how much Ignatius means to him, and I think that just propels me and like influences me to, you know, get in touch with my faith. And I need to be open to more ideas on and off the field. I think I was a stubborn kid coming into Ignatius, but leaving, I know I'm more open to growth, and I think that's really important. And something else that I'm doing now is I've taken summer school to get where I am today, and that's something that I've done. And I think all the extra classes and all that stuff just to put me where I am today is something that wasn't easy for me to do, and it took a lot of listening and understanding and like accepting everything, I guess. And I'm just blessed to be in the position I am today. My evaluation. Hopefully when I can, I will give back to the school as soon as I can because it has shaped me into the man I am today, and I'm like forever grateful for that. I wish I got involved in more service here, and I know that's said a lot, but I truly do. I wish I did more labras. I did the labras with my JV basketball team, and that was the most fun labra I've ever, actually it's the only labra I've ever done, but it was a really fun experience. I wish I worked a little bit harder in school. I hate looking back at my grades and knowing that I slacked off or I was lazy. That's something that is like hard to look at. But I'm also super happy that I played sports while I could here. Being a 3-sport athlete here has been amazing, and it's opened me up to a lot of relationships here. And I knew that I grew as a man, became closer to God, and more generous at this school because, like I said, coming in here, I was a cocky freshman. I had some ego to me. I still think I do have some ego to me, but it's a different way. But I was a cocky freshman. I didn't accept people for who they were. I kind of just blew them off because they weren't like me. But I've actually opened up my mind a little bit, and I've got a lot of different friendships at Ignatius now that I never thought I would have. I think I have to be a little bit more loving. I don't think I've been the nicest human being all the time, but I know that Ignatius teaches me otherwise, and I think now that I'm leaving, I'm finally realizing how important it is to be loving to everyone and accepting. And something else that has stuck with me and that will stick with me forever is the Ignatius relationships here. And I'm understanding that now as I'm getting older, and like I said, like as I'm leaving, my dad has had relationships from Ignatius for his entire life, and he tells me that's the most important thing. Be close with God and be nice to everyone because, like, your interactions with everyone, like that's what the world is. If you have good relationships with everyone, you'll have a good life. And I think that's really important because hopefully I can carry that on to Ohio State. I can make it relationships at Ohio State like I do here, and I can carry those on forever. And the next step in my life, I'll be going to the Ohio State University and playing football. And that's why I'm giving my presentation now because I got the blessing and the opportunity to early enroll. I want to thank Ike for helping me with all my footwork because without him, my feet would suck. And that's just the honest truth. My feet were god awful my sophomore year. I mean, they're still not great, but they're a lot better than they were. And I want to get back to Ignatius as much as I can. I want to have a large family, and I want to send all my boys to Ignatius, which is very important to me because seeing what Ignatius has done to me and to my dad and to my uncle, my brother, and hopefully my younger brother can go through the same thing that I went through. The experiences here have been amazing. I'm forever grateful. This is just the last slide pretty much. So my family, me getting surgery, the track team, me sleeping, these two right here, Ignatius wristbands. And thank you.
Okay, whoever wants to begin?
You want me to begin?
Sure, since you're looking at me.
Thank you for your presentation. It was very interesting, and you obviously spent considerable time in preparation for it. Nothing that I'm going to ask you has any agenda attached to it. It's just curiosity caused by things that you have said.
Okay.
So, obviously, a great deal of what you spoke about is related to sports.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
If sports didn't exist, how would you define yourself as a person
Right now, it would be different how I define myself coming into Ignatius. If I didn't have sports coming into Ignatius, I probably wouldn't be anyone. But leaving Ignatius, I think I'd be A different man, but I honestly, it's a good question because I really don't know. Because sports have really shaped my life and they put me in positions to meet everyone. So if I didn't have sports, I don't know even where I would be. But hopefully I can find that soon.
And I'm not suggesting anything by my question. I was
Yeah.
just curious as to how you might respond to that. In reviewing your past and your career at Ignatius, unless I missed it, the only reference you made to academics was you said you took some summer school classes.
Yeah.
I don't think you spoke about anything else related to academics.
Yeah.
Why not?
Because like I said, I didn't really work hard in my academics here. I probably should have worked a lot harder. I kind of just slacked off with that.
Mhm.
I also, it really hasn't, I don't want to say a priority, but sports have always been on top for me. But here the academics have always been like, challenging. My dad always, and my parents are always like, you have to get your academics first. I mean, they're way more important than sports, will take you farther in life. But honestly, it's just, I was lazy with my schoolwork here, and that's pretty much it.
And I just have one more for now. As you head off to Ohio State and you will be with the football team,
Yeah.
you will also be a student.
Yeah, I start classes 2 days after I'm
And do you know what direction your role as a student is going to take?
Yeah, I'll be studying business there. I don't know what branch yet, but hopefully it's a broad enough topic I can branch out.
Yeah.
Hopefully, getting some relationships with some people and go from there.
Thank you. I may have another later.
So, Cody, looking back, those injuries that you had,
Yeah.
would you, if you could do it over again or rewrite things, would you keep them in your life, or would you wish that you had not suffered those things?
I think I'd probably keep them, honestly, because I think that showed me that I have to work hard for something, and I have to work hard to get back. And it also proved to me that, resilience is huge. And I think if I never got hurt, I never would have worked as hard as I did. I think I kind of would just cruise through everything. So with the setbacks, it made me work a lot harder, and I think that was really important in my life. So other than maybe like breaking my hand at the end of the year, like the broken arms, I don't think that would change.
You mentioned how your dad was very important in your faith life and journey, and that he would mention God has a plan for you. If he didn't do that or didn't say that, or maybe if he wasn't such a faithful man himself, how do you think your faith life and your faith would have gone or been affected? And did you have moments of confrontation with God during those times?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I would always ask, why God? Like, why me? Like, why are you always injuring me? Like, why am I, like, why is this happening, I love football, I love everything about it, and it would just get taken away from me. And I think without my dad, I don't think I'd be close to my faith as close as I am today. I mean, I know Ignatius would have helped me tremendously with that, but also having like that backbone where my dad is always like, faith. I think that is just the main reason why I am as close to God as I am. Like I never would have thought I'd pray every single night until I got to Ignatius. But I think that's also with maturing and what Ignatius has done, and I'm like finally realizing that it's not just my dad telling me, it's like everyone here around or at Ignatius, like all the staff, like they showed me how important faith is. It's not just my dad telling me now, it's everyone. So I'm like, okay, now I probably should reflect more about that. And I think that's probably the main reason why I feel closer to God is because of my dad and Ignatius.
Last one for now. Do you anticipate any challenges to your faith, let's say in the next 4 or 5 years?
For sure. I mean, I know there'll be bumps in the road. And I know that my faith will be tested, but I mean, that comes with life. And I think I'm ready for that.
Cody, what were the most meaningful experiences that the school offered you beyond the Scranton experience?
like I said, like service probably, but I never got to experience any of that much. And just the sophomore service, like I said, that was something that was offered, but that was amazing to me because I got to see people who were so much less fortunate than I was, and that just opened my eyes a lot. But I know the school offers a million things, and I didn't really take part in a lot because I had sports every single day. So, I mean, that's like I said, I wish I did more service.
Where are you vis-a-vis the question, Father Walsh's question on the mall that's etched into stone? You know, what does God want for me in my life?
So you're asking me like that question pretty much?
Yeah.
I mean, I think God wants me just to be a leader and use my personality to influence others in the most positive way. Because I think I have like a loud, you know, sometimes bubbly, but it's like serious personality. Like I can get to the point, but I'm also like I like to smile if you can't really tell. But I think He wants me to use my personality for the better of others. And hopefully I can. But I think literally God's plan for me is to, you know, work hard and then lead others to God by smiling a lot and being positive. So
That's good. Not only have you suffered personal injury, you know, that's kept you out from the sport you really enjoy and are good at, but it's been a hard couple of years for the football program in general.
yeah.
Just wondering, what have you learned about yourself or teams? You know, obviously, those losing seasons have been hard on students, hard on adults. Just any thoughts, or you know, you've kind of had double whammy both at the team on the team level and individually. Have you thought about that?
Yeah. I mean, I took a lot of thought this year, especially like taking a step back and like being a captain, being a leader, like completely of this team. Like I've always seen myself as a leader every single year, but actually being like a captain of the team and everyone's actually looking at me. This year, I got to really realize that attitude is everything, and if you believe in something, it's completely different than if you don't. So seeing all the doubt on the team this year and all the doubt in the stands and all the parents talking negative about football, it's really shown me that if everyone was really positive about this season, we would have had a different outcome. And I think if everyone believed and stopped, you know, like I said, doubting the team, then we would have, I think, still won a state championship. And I think that the only thing that set us back this year was the attitude of all the players, attitude of the parents, and just kids giving up too quickly.
One more question. Do you feel, what are you most anxious about going to college a semester early?
Probably, so the schooling part will definitely be a big thing for me, you know. Taking college credit classes right away when I get there. Also, I'm I'm not that big, so hopefully I don't get beat up too bad at practice. Hopefully they bulk me up a little bit. But I'm not scared about living alone. I'm not scared about being on my own. Like I think I'll be okay with that. I think I'm in the right state of mind, and I think I'm mature enough and I can handle situations well enough to be where I will go. But yeah, the schooling will definitely be a big step, and hopefully I don't get beat up too bad. But I think that just comes with it, so I'm ready to get beat up a little bit, so need to get humble.
I lost track of how many bones you broke.
Oh, I don't need a lot. I broke both forearms, like both my arms, my one arm, both bones. My junior year, broke my collarbone my freshman year, broke one of my bones in my arm. My senior year, I broke my hand my senior year. And then
Did you say collarbone?
Yeah, I broke my collarbone, yeah.
So that's up to 6.
Collarbone.
Okay. I want to ask a question. And I'm going to do it very simplistically in plain language. With those 6 injuries, and maybe more, Ohio State's taking a chance on you.
Yeah.
Why?
I think it's because they've seen the resilience that I put in, the work I kept fighting no matter what. Also, it's bones, they heal. Thank God it's not like my ACL or like ligaments, something like that, that's it's a different story. So when I first told him I got injured and I broke my arm again, I broke my hand or whatever it was, I'm like, dude, it's a bone, it heals.
Yeah.
Like, and I think they took a chance on me, and honestly, me only playing, you know, my sophomore year, a little bit my junior year, and a little bit my senior year, and being in the position I am today, is like, I'm like, how is this even possible, right? And I think that's what schools saw. They saw that I really cared about football, and I really put my head down and worked to get back where I was.
Where do you get your drive, Cody? Like, what drives you? Because you definitely have a different level of drive than I think a lot of your peers. Like, what's in your internal engine?
So, I mean, I have a pretty football family, honestly. And usually what I would look at is my mom's grandpa played in the NFL. My dad played in the NFL. I was like, I don't want to play in the NFL. That's three lines of, like, three build lines playing in the NFL, three different generations. That's like, honestly, like, that's what I would think about like 5th grade. But my drive, honestly, seeing how my dad was and how small he was and seeing how far he went and seeing how little he had, like, compared to me, like, I'm way more genetically blessed than he was. So that's what he says, at least. That's what he tells me.
I agree.
But I can't combat him with that. I'm bigger than he was. I know I'm faster than he was. I know I'm stronger than he was. And seeing how far he went, I'm just like, wow, like, if I can't do that, then I just sold myself. Like, I just gave up on myself then. And just all the football in my family and seeing how far every single person went. And seeing they're like, everything that's not given to you is not given to you, you have to earn it, That's all that's echoed around my house. And I think that's the only thing that just keeps propelling me to do that. I also love proving people wrong. That's something else. I love proving people wrong. And I love making people happy that believe in me. Like, if all you guys believe in me and I prove you all right, it's a good feeling, you know? But it's pretty much it summed up.
Any other final questions or anything?
No, I just hope you know, the regrets you expressed here, I hope that you don't have those again in college. So, like, you know, college is a different beast. Being a full-time athlete is a full-time job in college. You know, I hope that you learn from, like, hey, I'm going to apply myself at Ignatius academically. Well, I'm going to need to at Ohio State. Or trying to find a balance of athletics, school, and giving back to the community somehow. So you're a smart kid, you're a driven kid. I think you need to just, I'd hate to talk to you in 4 years and you'd be like, man, I should have applied myself at Ohio State. And,
Ohio State's huge on faith too, which is, it's growing there. Like, the whole team is getting baptized, which is crazy. Like, maybe not the whole team, but like most of the players on the team.
Yeah, wasn't there a group of guys who had an event?
Yeah, there was a huge event, and they're all getting baptized, and they're wearing these Christ First shirts, and I didn't even know that when I decided to commit there. Like, and it's just growing, and seeing how much faith is important to the football program. I'm like, wow, that's just a way bigger Ignatius, honestly. But they also have an insane amount of service there too with the football teams. They go to like nursing homes, they go to like elementary schools, cancer researches, like everything. And I'm seeing all this on like their social media, and I'm like, I was lazy with that at Ignatius. I didn't take part in that. Hopefully I can take part in that at Ohio State, so.
Okay, I'm going to break my silence. As you look back on your time at St. Ignatius, for our benefit, what have we done that has helped to propel you forward, to help you to succeed to where you are today? And have there been things that have held you back that we have done, or maybe things that we haven't done that we could have done? So I know if we cut you right now, you'd bleed blue and gold. But like, looking back on your experience, what have been sort of the highs and the lows as far as the school is concerned, what we do? Help us to get better.
I mean, the staff at Ignatius is like amazing. I don't know any other high school, but I'm really close with a lot of the people on the staff. Like you, Mr. Haley, I'm pretty close to you. Coach Franzinger, I'm really close to him. got to know you pretty well. I see you at church every Sunday, and I see how big Ignatius is, like the brand of Ignatius. And I think something that the school has done is just, like I said, like build relationships here, and they show how important like faith and relationships are at Ignatius. That's something that's, you know, really important to me. That's what's showed. But something that I really don't know anything you guys haven't done, because unless I wouldn't be here today. Like if I was standing here in the spring, that's something I would probably say. I'd say they didn't let me early enroll, but you guys did. You guys were open to letting me do this, and so I really have. You guys have given me everything, honestly. St. Ignatius is you guys. So.
Very good. Well, thank you, Cody.